Okay, well, it looks like we are doing a short notice invitational game here. Uh, should probably change my stream title. Whoops. So this is the semifinals. Shenful versus mindsdesire. Scorpion versus dragon. These are pre-restricted list decks, so let's see. Looks like we're opening up with a Doom Chugenja and a Bayushi Lyre. Mindsdesire gets the Passing Fate. He's going second. And Kingsley is going to join us here. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, how's it going? Do you have the
Good.
password?
I think they posted it in the.
Well, if you don't, I'll put it in that
Let me see.
chat.
Oh, it's. They said it's a normal lobby with no password.
They remade it, so it does have a
Got it.
password now. But yeah, I gave it to you.
Just played a very interesting game myself.
Hmm.
Me versus a crane, and we went to turn 8.
Interesting.
Did pull it out though. Looking grim at one.
Yeah.
Are we live yet?
Yes, we are live.
Tight. Mindsdesire says, "I hope people didn't think this was going to be an attacking stream, as
Yeah.
we see the players correctly passing. I think all the conflicts on the first. Oh no, there's one
There's
potential
one
conflict
left.
left.
Oh, he finds manicured.
Yeah, Shen, luckily for him, hits Manicure. That was the best province to hit. Actually, Feast or Famine might be better in this situation since he doesn't have fated characters, so if he were to break it somehow, it would be to his advantage.
Miyamoto's Fury.
Mind's Desire playing Miyamoto's Fury.
Yeah, so this is the invitational game, so this is actually still pre-restricted list.
Oh, got it. Yeah, so these decks are going to be very high power level then
Yeah.
in terms of we're probably going to be seeing a bunch of policy debates, Miyamoto's Fury. The funny thing is that actually I found I don't feel that weak with the restricted list on Dragon.
Hmm.
Because there's just a lot of stuff that they have to offer.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing you lose is just Fury, right?
Yeah, Fury and policy debate.
Policy debate, yeah.
You do lose charge, but charge just swaps back to being bonsai.
Yeah.
And then losing policy debate, whatever. Losing Fury is kind of bad, but it's pretty hard to win via breaks against Dragon in my experience. So
Yeah, yeah. So Mind's Desire actually played a Hiruma Skirmisher just to claim the favor.
yeah, that's a play that we've seen from time to time. If he were to flip, does he have censures in this one? No, I think that's his post-restricted list deck.
Yeah, no sentries here for Mind's Desire. Gosh, a Swordsmith with 2 Fate. See if he plays another one or the Investigator potentially. Ooh, Investigator with 4 Fate.
So this is the big fate meta.
Yep.
to counter fate worse than death, and because provinces are so crazy and people are often playing very defensively, putting a lot of fate on characters has proven to be strong. We're actually seeing some Scorpion players trying out the infamous Consumed by 5 Fires, at one point considered one of the worst cards in the game,
Yeah. I
simply because the big fate that we're now seeing. And I mean, I don't know. If Shenful had 5 Fires here, it'd be great to play it. You know, take
yeah, yeah.
4 fate off that investigator and 1 off the swordsmith. It'd be excellent.
Yeah, I think I actually saw Shenful saying earlier that he thinks Phoenix is the best splash for Scorpion now.
Let's see. I think Dragon to play Tattooed Wanderer and maybe Let Go is pretty good.
Yeah. I might
But
have
it's not as good as it was when I had Miramoto's, that's for sure. Because Scorpion really appreciates that, given that their defense is not always so strong.
yeah, I might have misinterpreted what he was saying. I just saw him say I think Phoenix Splash is best now. I'm not sure if he was talking about Scorpion, but
You could play 5 Fires. I don't know what else you would play.
Display of Power maybe?
Oh yeah, Display of Power could be a nice trick. You're kind of going all in on the like I have a ton of hate,
Yeah.
and I do think
Um
sometimes that's proven not to be that great. But you know we'll have to see what exactly comes to light.
yeah. So a Goblin Sneak here takes Mind's Desire's Last Fate.
Goblin Sneak has become increasingly played in my increasingly played.
Ooh, big Assassinate.
Yeah, assassinate on that swordsmith. That's pretty good. Interesting. Having lost the fate, I guess he couldn't play reprieve.
Yeah, so he waited to use Swordsmith till that conflict had already started.
Oh, that's
And
what it was. It was just the time. Yeah, that's probably wrong.
yeah, of course, Shenful could have always just waited until he used the Swordsmith, and then when he saw the reprieve, played the Sneak. So he finds Shameful Display here.
No, because he still Meisler still had 1 fate somehow.
Yeah, he had 1 fate, but as soon as what I'm saying is, as soon as he used the Swordsmith action to find the reprieve, then Shenful could have played the Goblin Sneak. Oh, did he? Wait.
He had 1 fate post Goblin.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, so I think that's actually just a timing mistake. Then should have
Oh,
used the swordsmith earlier, unless there's some real like special adaptive gameplay, like trying to wait to see what they're doing. But in general, you want to put Finger of Jade on swordsmith or
yeah.
reprieve on swordsmith pretty quickly. Uh, in general, but especially here because we do know that Scorp does tend to play assassin.
Oh, he used Manicured Gardens to gain a fate. That's what happened.
Got it. So maybe he didn't have it at that time. Okay. Looks like he's going to defend this with Heroi. Maybe he's going to pull in the Kitsuki Investigator. And no, I'm not sure why he didn't pull in the Kitsuki Investigator. Because pulling in the Investigator and then using Shameful Display to dishonor him seems like it would be stronger.
We see a Finger of Jade, so now he can't pull him in.
Well, he might want to try it anyway just to
Yeah,
make Mindsdesire use that block. Especially because I think this is a male conflict, so it would waste the Kitsuki Investigator's ability.
right.
Oh, but there is actually a favorable ground, so he could just move out, but then he'll still get dishonored.
Yeah.
Interesting mix there. Yoga Heroi does often lead to some kind of unusual gameplay in terms of what sort of things you have to consider.
Yeah, definitely. We see a Let Go. And then Investigator gets pulled in. So yeah, we see favorable ground home.
Still likely going to get dishonored, though.
Mind's Desire could have. There are definitely cards he could have here that would
Yeah, I mean, just a
potentially.
basic sword attachment. Bonsai would also, of course, be nice to have.
He's just gonna pass though, so Investigator will get dishonored. He can probably just break this shameful display now unless there's a fate worse than death or something. Yeah,
Yep, so
I mean, the Scorpion has 15 cards here, so the chances of him having either Fate Worse Than Death or a Fury are pretty high, I think.
yeah, it seems like good chances here, I think. In fact, I would say. Is he on 3 Furies or 2?
3 Fury, 2 Fate Worse Than Death.
Yeah, so I mean, there's 5 cards that could stop this.
Yeah.
He's seen almost half his deck. I think it's extremely likely that he has a. He says he's going to figure something out, which does mean the
Hmm.
situation is going to be a little more complicated. But it
Yeah.
could also just be maybe he's considering whether to play his own conflict characters.
Yeah, and that is what he does.
Yeah, we see Meek Foreman, and that's going to reveal. Interestingly, Mind's Desire had another Finger of Jade, but chose not to play it in that situation. He does have 2 policy debates, which means attacking into this. I guess attacking is really bad anyway, because. Okay, so now the Finger of Jade that we saw there does come out. Uh, we do see that because there are policy debates and Kentucky investigators' ability, it would be extremely, extremely risky.
Yeah, Mind's Desire did just spend his last fate, though, so.
Yeah, so actually that's a good point. That does mean that it does mean the Kentucky investigator's natural ability is not live unless he already took a fate from Manicured Gardens this turn. Is that right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so that's not going to be too impactful then.
I imagine we will see a. Ooh, policy debate gets cancelled with Forged Edict.
Did he have 2 policy debates or just the one?
He had 2, yeah. 2.
Well, Heroic could dishonor again if there's another Forged Edict.
Yeah.
This is a really bad conflict for Shenful in terms of numbers. It is possible that he has a copy of Worst Death.
He
Seems perhaps
passes.
probable. Okay, so the second policy debate comes out, and that one goes off. And we do see that he did have a fate worse than death. Did not have a Miramoto's Fury. No. He did have 1 Miramoto's Fury. Now, we do see that there's a Kami Unleashed here. We could see that being used on the offense to resolve the error ring. That seems not optimal at all.
Yeah, probably not this conflict. He does discard Fate Worse Than Death.
Yeah, I think that in general, I would say Fate Worse Than Death is the card to take in this sort of situation. I mean, we've seen games before where people have decided not to take a Fate Worse Than Death and have later just been kind of predictably blown up by it, in my view.
Yeah.
We do see the court games coming out to honor and then the court games coming out to dishonor, so that's going to be even. It does look like this conflict is going to go to Mind's Desire, but it does mean with no fate, he can't play that Tattooed Wanderer to make his second attack. So Shenful will take the Imperial Favor this turn.
Yeah.
Hard to say. Hard to say who came out on top from all of that, but I do think Shenful has a fair bit of advantage here. The Kitsuki Investigator there is the strongest character on the board,
Right.
but
And he
at the
did.
same time, Shenful is up by 8 fate and 4 cards and has the
Yeah.
Imperial Favor.
Yeah, that's definitely a lot. Hmm.
Neither player getting a particularly exciting flop here, I feel. Swordsmith coming out for Mind's Desire.
So let's see. What was in Shenful's hand? He has Kachiko, so he might just save a lot of fate to play her.
He's already saved quite a lot of fate,
Yeah,
perhaps too much even.
he does have a lot here. So yeah, he's gonna play Satoshi. Uh,
Mine's are not Mine's Desire. Shenful's kind of infamous for banking huge amounts of fate.
yeah. So Satoshi in this deck, he has 3 Satoshi, 3 Storehouse, and 1 Imperial Palace.
Yeah, at one point I was playing Mia Satoshi in Dragon even just to get the with 3 Satoshi, three Storehouse, 1 Palace.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just, you use him and he either gets himself an extra fate, or he gives you a card, or he finds your palace. I think it's actually quite reasonable to include him over Kitsuki Yuruma in that slot. Though currently I'm actually experimenting with using cheaper guys in that slot. I think I'm currently forget exactly. I think I'm currently trying to actually just have a lower curve in general.
Mm-hmm.
But be that as it may, the one disadvantage to using Mia Satoshi is there is the chance of getting unlucky and milling very many cards from your deck.
Right.
And if that, I've had games where people have basically lost because of huge mills from Mia Satoshi. And I know that people in Dragon Chat, for instance, were thinking that it's kind of an unsafe situation.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't want to run that. Even if it's good on average, there's going to be that one game where maybe he mills like 15 cards and you have to start worrying about your dynasty running out.
Yeah, and especially if you're not a keeper clan and you don't have the keeper initiates.
Agasha Swordsmith searches and finds Cloud the Mind, which then comes out on Yoga Heroi. That's got to be something Mind's Desire is happy to see.
Ooh.
Calling in Favors comes out, though, and
Ooh.
it is stolen onto the Goblins. But another Cloud the Mind is played right after that. Ouch.
Yeah.
So Shenful still has, I believe, how many Calling in Favors is he playing?
2.
So he has 2 Let Go, 2 Calling in Favors.
Yeah, that's correct.
All right, so he's used half his attachment control, and Roy is still clouded at this time. Now Jade Masterpiece coming out here,
Yeah.
stacking all that fate on that water ring. That's a good move.
Yeah, definitely. And we do see a reprieve on the Swordsmith this
That's a
time.
smart play. I think we're gonna probably Tattooed Wanderer takes the field. I'm a little confused by that.
Hmm.
I was thinking we might see the Kitsuki Investigator leading an attack. Ooh, nice. So he does a military conflict with that tattooed, and he finds meditations. That's a nice break for him there, as
Yeah.
that province will do nothing in this conflict unless Shen is holding another piece of attachment control and sucks somebody in with Heroi. But the downside of that is, I mean, probably he should just defend with his Goblin Sneak and pass and lose the conflict, but make the ring do nothing.
Yeah, that seems correct.
And then I don't think but Mind's Desire might have a charge, which does make this complicated because charging Yokuni would be extremely strong in this situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he could charge Yokuni. He could charge Yokuni, copy Heroi, drag Satoshi into the conflict, or drag Heroi into the conflict for that matter. They would provide very minimal military buff. We do see Heroi coming out on the defense, which I think either means that he does have more attachment control, or he's trying to enable for shame here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Can't remember. Oh yeah, he did have 1 for shame in his hand.
Here it is. It was a policy debate. So he gets a policy debate against the Tattooed Wanderer, and it easily wins. And we see that Mind's Desire does not indeed have a charge. He had 1 more reprieve, which is going to get removed. He does have a Miramoto's Fury, Pathfinder's Blade, 2 Fine Katana, another Finger of Jade, and 2 Let Go. So Mind's Desire has drawn a fair amount of his counter. Ooh, another policy debate comes out. I'm not sure that's wise. I
Um,
typically don't like doing multiple policy debates because I think much of the value of the debate is seeing the opponent's hand. But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
possible there's a card in that hand that Shenful really wants to get rid of, and we do see the Finger of Jade going away. He then uses his Stronghold, stealing. Yeah, so he bid 3 in that last one. Wait, why did he do that? Okay, so he bid 3, I guess, just in case Mind's Desire switched to bidding 5, and gave Mind's Desire 2 honor, though he did then take 1 back with his Stronghold.
yeah. And that's gonna be it for that conflict.
So that's going to be a win, but the Water Ring is going to bow a character that was already in the conflict, and therefore more or less do nothing. Shenful's only character remaining here is Mia Satoshi, but we know from earlier he does have conflict characters in his hand. He's got to be a bit worried, though, because if he makes a political conflict with this Mia Satoshi, Kitsuki Investigator can use its effect and maybe discard that Kachiko or whatever it is.
Yeah.
We do see Kame Unleashed hitting the field.
Yeah, we do also know that Mind's Desire has a Fury, so I think he's just gonna leave Satoshi at home. Um,
Yeah, that makes sense. So Military Void, yeah, and this is a comparatively strong play here. I think Mind's Desire should probably just pass because if Shenful starts losing, he'll just use the Kami Unleashed ability. So I would just defend like that and then pass. Well, after you use Manicure, I guess he does now do. Unless you have an assassination, but I think Mind's Desire is not playing assassination and it is also risking his Forge Edict with Courtiers up. Is Shenful running Censure?
he has one censure, but we also did just see Mind's Desire's hand, and we know that he does not have the Assassinate.
Yeah, I don't think it's actually in his deck. So I guess there's no need to be concerned
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, no Assassinate in his deck either. Um,
I'm on 1x assassinate in my own dragon. I might actually go to 2 depending on where the meta goes, but we'll have.
ooh, so we see a charge on the favored niece.
Nice. Favored knee. I'm not sure why this katana comes out here. I think I would prefer to just. I think I would prefer to just not do. Oh, he's just doing it in advance. I get it. Never mind. Because he knows that there's a fight here to at least some degree, and that does mean that the Kami Unleashed used the ability. This is actually pretty important for Mind's Desire to win now because he could get that Kitsuki Investigator removed this turn, which would be a real detriment to his plans. If
Yeah,
there's another, he is holding the line. If there's a fate worse than death, it can throw the swordsmith out of the conflict. For
for
shame comes
shame.
out to bow the swordsmith. This is looking pretty bad for Mind's Desire.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
Fury comes out and bows the niece. Ooh, but that's a big misplay actually
yeah,
because the Imperial
favors.
Favor, yeah, and we see him. He recognizes it quickly. He says, "LOL, forgot
Not
favor.
used to playing
Not
this
used to
card.
playing this card." Yeah, he's been. I think it's kind of well known at this point that the splash that most of the Dragon players are going for, or rather the restricted list card that most of the Dragon players are going for, is it's Pathfinder's Blade, which means that Miramoto's Fury has come out.
Right. And he discarded the last reprieve off of a policy debate. So yeah, this investigator's not gonna last until next turn now. Uh, he had a second reprieve, but yeah, it got discarded on one of those policy debates. So yeah, no more reprieve now. Um, we're gonna see. So the investigator's free to attack meditations now. It's going Earth. Now that he Unfortunately, now that he's used that Miyamoto's Fury, this Mia Satoshi is going to be able to get a free attack after this. So yeah, that was definitely a big mistake.
Things do seem to be wrong a bit from Mind's Desire here, but he's a very strong player.
Yeah.
I think he has the highest elo of any player in the game, so we'll see whether or not he can do that. He does take advantage of losing the fate on that Kentucky investigator by going into meditations on the Tao. We see a unassuming Yojimbo get played at home,
Yeah.
and wow, there's fate worse than death.
So yeah, that's the second Fate Worse Than Death that he gets to pull there.
I might have played a fate worse than death on that Agasha Swordsmith, honestly.
Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah,
guess he has a reprieve anyway though, so it wouldn't actually clear him.
yeah, yeah. And there are only two Fate Worse Than Death in his deck, so he is out of those now.
Both of them have been taken down by the Kitsuki investigator.
Yeah.
This does look like it could be a break here, though we're going to see the favored niece being used. Maybe he can draw Miramoto's, he cannot. And the Earth Ring discards Kachiko.
Ooh.
How many copies of Kachiko are being played by Shenful?
He hasn't played any yet. He did have two in hand, I think. Yeah, two in hand. Are there only two in his deck? Yes, there are. So he has one left in hand, and that is the last one in his deck.
I like running Kachiko as a 1x personally, but I'm crazy.
Yeah. Restoration of Balance.
Ooh. So this is not the... This is actually very risky to do this attack. I'm not sure why he did that. Because if
Yeah.
he had hit Feast or Famine, it would be massively negative for him, with the fate from Mia Satoshi being stolen onto that Kitsuki investigator. In fact, that would be
Well,
like devastatingly bad.
so actually, this is a political conflict, and he's just attacking with the Yojimbo.
Yeah,
And
but oh wait, no, he knows his opponent's
yeah,
hand.
we know
Okay, so
Mind's Desire's hand. So yeah, he was actually. I think he was actually looking for Feast or Famine there.
to find it. Well, actually, oh yeah, no, he's used
Shameful.
his stronghold, so he couldn't play the swords and then buff.
Yeah, Shameful would have been fine also. But yeah, he didn't. He probably didn't want to find the restoration there.
On the other hand, 3 cards from a restoration, that's not so bad. I've seen much worse.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's gonna honor Miya Satoshi. This does equalize the hand sizes, though. Just a second ago, Mind's Desire was down 4-10, and now he's up 5-4. So
Yeah, so Mind's Desire, I don't know that this board is looking really negative. The fate has actually shifted in favor of Mind's Desire.
yeah,
I don't know. I think that turn wasn't so great for him. He lost that Kitsuki investigator much earlier than he should have been hoping to, but it was far from catastrophic. We might actually see Kitsuki Yoruma get played here to flip that restoration of balance back to face down. In fact,
yeah,
that seems pretty likely to me.
yeah. We do
And
see
there we
that.
have it. So Kitsuki Yoruma's ability to flip cards face down was much better in the old meta, because with charge you could do it mid-fight, and then there's this crazy ruling where when it flips back up, it counts as a different copy of the card.
Yeah,
Use that to actually use a province's ability twice in the same conflict, and you can do it to make people get hit by restoration in the middle of a conflict, so that's pretty crazy. And then additionally, flipping provinces face down matters a lot more when you have Miramoto's Fury in your deck, but it's basically out of Dragon Deck's post-restricted list, at least the ones that I've been seeing.
right.
And so for that reason, he kind of lost significant synergy with Charge and Miramoto's Fury. And as a result of that, I'm actually not playing him anymore. But in this old meta, he's rather strong indeed.
Yeah, so we see the bids get dropped here. Shenful goes all the way down to 1. Mind's
That
Desire
makes
goes
sense.
3.
I thought that was fair. I thought that was actually fairly likely in this situation, because with few cards, he has the option to attack into that restoration again and expose it as a farmable province for later.
Yeah. Gasha Swordsmith finds a reprieve.
Oh, I guess actually, if I recall correctly, the There was one card that Shenful didn't know because there had been an Earth Ring that was resolved.
Hmm.
So there was a small chance that if he had gone to Feast or Famine, Mindsdesire would have drawn an ornate, would have had that one card be Ornate Fan, in which case it's horrible for.
Yeah, that's true.
Feast or Famine's such a dumb card. It creates the like wildest situations where you want to play your best cards on your own guys to prevent you from winning. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Shenful is now in the best position he can be in to look for it, which is to say that he has favorable ground out. One of the probably the most reliable way to deal with Feast or Famine is to have favorable ground available and attack with only one guy who you then back out with.
right.
Because at present, I don't think anything counters favorable ground except for, I guess, Casada.
Hmm.
And that
I
makes it
mean,
a quite reliable escape. Whereas, like, even if you have Pathfinder's Blade or Finger of Jade, there's a risk that the opponent has attachment control.
right. I guess
And even if you
technically you could pull them back in if they favorable ground out with like a railway, but
yeah, that's a good point.
then you would need to defend. So I don't know.
The other interesting thing that some people have been doing is attacking with characters that can be pulled back into hand, like Adept of Shadows, or that can
Mm,
be sacrificed, like
yeah,
Vanguard Warrior or Mia Mystic. And then if the opponent buffs you to break, you can just take yourself out of the picture. So that's another more
yeah,
reliable way to attack. Though even then, there's the risk that they will cloud you and then buff you, which
yeah. Or if you have like a witch hunter on the board.
oh yeah, that's a good one. Crab actually probably has some of the best tools for attacking against Famine, in that they have a lot of saves that don't rely on fate. So if it does go off, it's not as bad. And then they
Yeah,
additionally have a lot of potential things that they can do to evade it with a combination of sacrifice effect, favorable ground. They even have rebuild, so you can get that favorable ground back, or maybe even pull out a funeral pyre and sacrifice your own attacker.
yeah. So we're seeing a political attack here. The Ojimbo, I guess, just got used for its covert. He's gonna favorable ground that home. Uh, he defended with the swordsmith.
Swordsmith only on strength one here because this is a political conflict.
Yeah,
Looks like he's actually content to let this break. I think that kind of makes sense. This manicured gardens is kind of a farmable province,
yeah, yeah,
and the air ring here is going to be, it's kind of impactful. I don't know, with that blackmail artist there, it's pretty impactful actually.
yeah. Um, I mean, he could have used his stronghold to try and prevent the break, I guess, but
And Yoruma was coverted by the unassuming
uh,
Yojimbo. Is that correct?
I think I can't remember, but I think I saw the Nita and Adept being coverted.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. He might have switched it. Um, I mean, I think you just pass here, right? What would he? Hmm, I guess he could have another Kami Unleashed. He is playing a
That would be pretty
card.
hype. Ooh, he assassinates Newton Adept, but Reprieve saves it. I'm not. Oh, I see what he's doing. He's going to use it. He played assassination just to lose 3 honor. So
Right.
now he's going to use his stronghold to steal 1, and he's going to steal 2. That's going to leave Mind's Desire actually at 2 honor, which is
Yeah.
going to be pretty hype. And he's removed the reprieve from that Neten adept, which does mean the Neten adept won't have another attachment. Won't have an attachment to bow people with, rather. So I do think that we're seeing, my desire is getting into a spot of trouble when it comes to honor here,
Yeah.
especially if there's attachment control to get rid of the reprieve that is protecting that Agasha Swordsmith. That could be another hit. My desire probably wants to go for the fire ring here, and that is what we see with this attack. But unfortunately for him, he hits pilgrimage, so that's probably not going to be a victory for Mind's Desire, or at least it's probably not going to be able to get the. I think he's probably not going to be able to get the ring effect.
Yeah. It does at least take the firing off the table.
That's
Um,
true. So it means that won't himself be hit as hard. But his
yeah.
main option to break this would be a bonsai, which I don't think is in his current deck. If he does have a charge, it could be huge, but it looks like he does not.
He has one bonsai and one charge in this deck. It looks like.
Oh yeah, this is the 1/1 version. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, but doesn't use either of those.
I think for some time decks have been running. There are a fair few decks running two bonsai,
Hmm.
and I think that for some time two charge was tested in place of it, and I guess he had switched to 1/1. But of course, it's now back to bonsai post restricted list because charge is not a card you can put in your deck.
Yeah,
At least not. I mean, you could, but there are just so many better options for dragon. I think policy debate. If I were ranking it, I would say Pathfinder's Blade number one, Policy Debate number two, Mirameadows number three, or maybe the other way around for the last two.
yeah,
And then I don't know. I mean, Charge is probably number four, but that's a fair ways down the line.
yeah. I've definitely been noticing in Crab
For
that.
Dragon, to be
Yeah, yeah,
clear.
yeah, yeah, definitely. I was about to say I've definitely been noticing playing Crab that Charge is not in my deck anymore. But
Yeah, Iron Mine is just so good a card. You gotta have
yeah,
that.
you can't not play Iron Mine.
Fine Katana comes out on the Niten Adept. And now we see a military conflict going into that restoration of balance. Restoration of balance doesn't trigger because Shenful is down to four cards in hand. So it's a strength 8 attack here, and he is coverting that Niten Adept, which means Yoruma is going to be brought out here to defend. A Void Ring here could clear either the Niten Adept or Yoruma, and it seems very likely that Shenful will get it. I do think that Shenful really is in the dominant in this game.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that province is gonna break. Niten Adept is gonna lose a fate. We already saw the reprieve get played. So he's actually currently out of reprieves in his deck. He's used all three.
Yeah, all three reprieves have come out. He could, of course, reshuffle, but if he reshuffles at this point, he's going to lose the game, so that's a little moot. Mind Desire passes its conflict opportunity. I'm not altogether sure why, I guess.
I mean, it could be that there just weren't any provinces he wanted to attack into.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to attack the cache. Yeah, I guess attacking Pilgrimage wouldn't really do that much. It would, especially since there's no fate on Mars at that time.
Yeah. Ooh, three fate Niten Master.
Bold.
Yeah, this late in the game.
He has removed the fate worse than deaths.
That's true.
I don't know. What else is he going to spend his fate on also?
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wants to play Togashi Initiate with zero fate so that he can attack with him, honor himself, and then if all goes well, gain one at the end of the turn. Togashi Initiate's actually pretty sweet for that as a little boost from having an honored character leave play. You can generally honor him pretty easily. The opponent might have dishonor stuff, but it's still like having him on field is essentially saying, I'm probably going to get an extra one honor at the end of the turn.
Hiroe was Cloud the Minded, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Someone in chat was saying something about him pulling someone and dishonoring, but yeah, I think he had Cloud the Mind on him. Um, I was thinking it's unfortunate that Mind's Desire has those two let goes in his hand since this Scorpion deck has zero attachments. Um, those are kind of just dead cards.
Yeah, only use there is for playing on calling in favors cards.
Right.
So it's not 100% dead, but it's pretty dead, especially if calling in favors gets used against Cloud the Mind, as we saw previously, and there's only one calling in favors left in the deck.
Yeah, I got one left. He's gonna pre-play a Pathfinder's Blade here to cancel the secret cache.
Seems reasonable. If your opponent steals or discards it before the fight, you can always just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
At least for things like Secret Cache or Restoration, where if it reacts start, that's one thing, but can get powerful.
So he's probably going to want to use the initiate's ability here to honor, so that he'll get an honor back at the end of the turn. I wonder which ring you put the fate on. Probably void.
Yeah, probably void. I mean, I don't know. You might want to do void yourself for denial, but he does go to void. So, yeah, actually, this kind of makes sense. So, if Shenful goes void, it's not that impactful, and if Mind's Desire goes void, it's actually pretty good. So he is encouraging his opponent to do a not so impactful ring, while also potentially setting up a reward for himself later on, depending on what we see here.
Right.
It does look like there's a bonsai attempted, but it's canceled by the 1x censure.
And then a fine katana is going to ready the Niten Master.
Yeah, he was bad thanks to first shame, then he came back up. Let's see if he goes for the break here. Shenful is down to only 4 cards in hand. But Mind's Desire only has 5 himself. He could tap his Stronghold for break, and we do see that. Yep, there's the Stronghold. So he is breaking right now. Does Shenful's hand have an answer? So let's see. There's still 1 Kachiko, right?
Someone is asking if... Yeah, he still has the Kachiko in his hand. Someone's asking if Shenful has charge. He does have... It's actually 3 charge, yeah. How many has he used?
Charging a phoning diplomat is kind of a useful way to mitigate that character's bad cost for its
Yeah.
stats while still getting the ability.
We see 2 charge in the discard, I believe, so he has 1 left. But with only 4 cards in hand, I don't think it's very likely that he has it. Mind's Desire is going to get the air ring and gain 2 honor, putting him back up to 4. And it looks like we're seeing this blackmail artist go on an attack here. I wonder if Mind's Desire has... He has 5 cards in his hand. I wonder if he has any more swords. Yeah, I mean, I guess he didn't care too much about the Initiate's honor there. That'd be 2 fate if you wanted to charge the Illusionist and then use the ability to remove the honor. Although it is a swing of 3. Ooh, he finds Shameful here.
He does hit Shameful. That's quite unfortunate for Shameful. I do think, wow, it actually means if he plays that Kachiko, he won't be able to send Yurima home because Yurima will have the same strength 6 that Kachiko has.
Yeah, unless he has...
But it would put him in a position to win the conflict.
Yeah, and winning the conflict is good because then he can use Blackmail Artist's ability. And also stand up his Satoshi with the Water Ring. Or just bow the Swordsmith, I guess. Either way.
Mind's Desire only has a political conflict left. He might refrain from making it against Shoju.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I think actually you're going to die anyway, so you do it to get fate.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think you just do it anyway into Pilgrimage, and you're like, whatever, man, I got 1 fate, my guy's going to die anyway. I already played all 3 of my reprieves.
Yeah.
Shadow's weighing his options, and I do think it's coming down to whether or not he wants to play that Kachiko.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I wonder what's in both of these players' hands at the moment. Mind's Desire is pretty low on political buffs at this point, I think. He only has one fan left in his deck.
1 fan left, huh?
Yeah, he's already played 2. And court
Does
games...
he have a Kitsuki's method, or is he only on Jade Masterpiece in this one?
Just Jade Masterpiece, yeah, which, again, he's already played. He's going to find a Pathfinder's Blade with the Swordsmith. That's pretty good.
Once again, using the Swordsmith a bit late, though.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
wonder. I wonder if he's doing this on purpose to try to adapt to what happens during the turn. There is an argument for that. You just got to be wary around assassination.
yeah,
We see Tattooed Wanderer played as an attachment, and there's another sword for that Niten Master. The Pathfinder's blade that he just found, in all likelihood, coming
yeah.
out. We did not see Kachiko get played, by the way, and that does mean the Niten Master is going to be able to covert pass Bayushi showed you and might be able to. Oh, I don't. But there's still that Kachiko.
Yeah, this is a political.
Political Void gains a fate. Void would be quite impactful here for him. He did end up being able to get that one fate that he had played earlier. Kachiko 3 fate coming in.
Oh,
Shenful spends all his fate on this Kachiko.
and he
And then we see the favorable ground being used to retreat the Niten Master. So Kachiko will win the conflict, but
and
uh,
I think this is enough for my. Yeah, this is enough for Mind's Desire to get favor. He's gonna have 5 to 3.
so that does mean that, yeah, getting the favor here might help. The one censure has been played, but if we see Agasha Sumiko, now that those fate worse than deaths have been destroyed, oh wow, and then
Court
insult to injury,
games.
Court Games comes out to dishonor Kachiko. I guess
Yeah,
it makes sense to withdraw here though, because the province is pilgrimage, which does mean, oh, but Court Games comes right back to honor Kachiko. That's not what. That's probably not what Mindstar wants to see.
yeah.
Yeah, so I think actually Shenful has used 0 of his Miramoto's Furies.
Yeah.
So,
I guess he just hasn't drawn any of them.
and I think that has Mindstar used all 3 Finger of Jade. One of them.
Let's see. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, so Sumiko might actually be quite risky here into Miramoto's. Though, of course, if he can expose Shenful's stronghold, that could be a very different story.
Yeah, we'll have to see what he finds. This is gonna be a pretty big board for Scorpion here. Um, going up against just the Niten Master.
Yeah, that's true.
Looks like Miya Satoshi gets used to find the Imperial Palace, so this is actually gonna.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, this is actually gonna deny the
Oh, wait
favor.
a minute, though. Wait a minute. He's in big trouble. Look how much he has milled. He only has 1 dynasty
Oh
card
yeah.
left. This actually could be the end of Shenful. He is getting dangerously low on honor.
Yeah, Mind's Desire. It's actually possible that Mind's Desire's hand right now is just 3 let goes.
That would be very unhype.
Yeah.
But this is a desperately bad position for Shenful on honor. In fact, he has 2 cards, and he's gonna have to discard 2 cards. So even if he plays nothing, he will lose 5 honor next turn. The question is, can he live? Especially if Mind's Desire goes after him. This is such a development
Yeah.
that I don't know. He didn't even mill that many cards with that last Satoshi activation. He just must not have realized how low he was on Dynasty, or he didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, he only milled 3 cards,
I
and that
guess
has put down to 1 Dynasty. So I think he may have used his Miya Satoshi at an imprudent time there. It did retain him the favor, but I'm not sure how impactful that's going to be. And he
yeah.
plays a card. Why
Yeah,
did
he
he play a
can.
card? This means he guaranteed loses 5 honor at the end of this turn. So if Mind's Desire can make him lose 1 more honor, that could be the game.
Well, I think playing card is. Oh, so he's just gonna take the honor loss now. Actually.
Okay. So yeah, he takes the honor loss now. He's down to 1 honor, but that does mean he's going to get to use his stronghold now. That actually kind of makes sense if he figures, I'm going to take this honor loss anyway. May as well use that stronghold. He could use Miya Satoshi again at this point and try to fish a Satoshi duplicate. Actually, I would do it. And he triggers it, but he misses Miya Satoshi, finding an Imperial Storehouse instead. Still, when you're on 1 honor and 2 cards in hand, getting an extra card draw seems pretty nice. And we do see that Shenful has a pretty amazing board here. So it's quite possible that this board is going to allow him to prevail, despite the fact that he only has 2 honor and 3 cards in hand, especially because we know that Mind Desire has at least 2 useless let goes, unless Shenful plays one of his calling in favors.
Right.
Shenful will be going first also, and he has such an overwhelming political force with Kachiko Shoju and the blackmail artist that he can probably escape from the honor pit that he finds himself in relatively easily. I think he can force through an air conflict here.
Yeah, probably.
This has been a pretty wild game.
Yeah, for sure.
How many swords does Mind's Desire have left? So he has one of his fine katana and a Pathfinder's blade in play. So he has no more katana, he has one more Pathfinder's blade, and he has 2 ancestral daisha.
Yes, I believe
Okay,
that's
so
correct.
he has a decent shot of getting one of those. He does also have an Imperial Storehouse that hasn't been used yet.
Yeah.
What these last few cards are is going to prove extremely important here, I feel.
Yeah. He does also still have a Cloud the Mind in his deck, which would be a dead card here.
Yeah, because there's no Shigenja on the field.
Right. Let's see what else is left. 2 Tattooed Wanderers, I think. Oh no, 1 Tattooed Wanderer. He has 1 in play.
That would also be pretty hype to see here. I don't know. That Scorpion board is looking tough.
Yeah.
Kachiko and Shoju with Fate on them, Mind's Desire has some pretty strong characters and has even more Fate, but this game seems like it might end soon. And if
Right.
so, the Scorpion board could well prevail.
Yeah. I'm thinking as Scorpion, do you maybe want to go Earth or Fire here for the Fate? Or do you just go Air?
Elavian Dremeril says, here we see a great example of how balanced City of the Open Hand is.
Yeah.
Tristan Wolf suggests forcing the political air ring super hard with the Bayushi couple and blackmail artist. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah, so you steal 2 honor with that, right? And then unless he defends with both, that you get an unopposed also.
Yeah, you can force a UO. Yeah, it would actually take Mind Desire to 1 honor himself, and it would put Shenful to 4 honor, which would
Yeah.
mean that Shenful would be well out of the danger zone, and Mind Desire would be at risk of dying if there were more coverts coming out or something. That seems like it could be quite a strong play, actually.
Yeah, and with that, I'm actually not sure if Mind's Desire has a way to not lose this turn.
Well, the problem is that's a super heavy commitment, right? So if he commits all those resources to doing that, it's possible that he'll create enough of an opening that Mind's Desire could actually break the stronghold. It's going to depend. I don't know, though. It's going to be pretty tough to do, I feel. He does have a Pathfinder's Blade, which means he could attack into Shameful and not worry about that. Unless Shenful has one of his attachment control cards, of course.
Yeah. Blackmail artists to steal 1, and then Airing steal 1. So yeah, you'd have to have that, and then both conflicts be unopposed.
Mail into Shameful Display with Satoshi. I wonder,
I
Mind
mean,
Desire is actually thinking about not defending this. I think he has to defend it because if this breaks, that means the big political attack will destroy his strong. Oh no, but he has rally under stronghold, so he could swap the big political attack onto military, and then maybe actually hold the line. That's actually a very interesting concept here.
yeah.
Now with the modern decks, you would have to wonder, does he have Indomitable Will? But that's of course not in these decks, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't believe he has that in his deck. Yeah, no.
Nor does he have, I believe, the 1x Fate or 1x Mountain Does Not Fall.
Oh, yeah. Defending with Niten Master, so potentially he can just stand this guy back up.
This could be the danger zone. This could be the danger zone for Shenful, depending on what happens here.
Yeah, I'm wondering why he
Imagine
went.
this. So this is a stupid like live the dream scenario. But imagine that both the cards that Mind's Desire drew were swords. He can use Shameful Display, get that Nintendo Master super hype. Then he can do an initial attack, maybe get a break. He can probably get a mill break. And then Shenful has to worry about a potential stronghold break, so he might have to hold back some of his political guys. One note also is that doing this does mean that Mind's Desire will have more of a chance to force through an airing of his own on the offense. But if he doesn't have a sword, it's very possible that he instead wants to go for the water ring and try to stand that guy up. He has a tattooed wanderer hitting the field.
Hmm. Yeah, so the Wanderer, I guess, is just gonna maybe take the airing off the board.
Yeah, taking the airing off the board, that's exactly right. Does
This
mean
should.
a fire ring now results in a dishonor at the end of the turn.
Saying that this should be Earth.
He's going for Earth, so I guess he's just trying to harvest the fate there.
Yeah, interesting.
Shenful says, "Yeah, sure, whatever." So that's a generous move, I guess. Shenful. There was a little bit of controversy earlier in the game between Noman and Widwin because Noman did not allow a take back on what Widwin said was a misclick.
Yeah, yeah.
So technically, Shenful would have been within his rights to say, "No, sorry, you declared air. You got to go air." But he was, he was gracious to his opponent and allowed it to go through.
Yeah,
Easy win on that conflict for Mind's Desire, but it doesn't particularly matter because Pilgrimage does cancel the ring effect. However, the 2 Fate might be. I don't know. What you going to do with 2 Fate?
yeah, I'm not sure.
I think going air might have been better there. I'm not so sure.
Yeah.
Illusionist discards the Dishonor token that was on Blackmail Artist. Okay, that's a solid play from Shenful. The big
So,
question is just how big is this? How big is the attack going to be? Mind Desire looks to not have a sword, or he's really holding it back.
yeah,
Oh, one good thing for Mind Desire is that Sugu can duel that Blackmail Artist.
that's true.
And even though there is a Bayushi Manipulator, Shenful actually dies if he bids too high on the duel. So I think that could be a way to save some honor for Mind's Desire.
Yeah, definitely. He
Oh no,
does.
but if Shoju goes in, it's too risky, right? So you can't really
Yeah,
defend.
yeah. That's what I was about to say. Is he does also need a way to not just die to Shoju. Um, Looks like we're seeing an attack with everybody except Shoju. The blackmail artist will not fire versus Red Tsugu. Yeah. Shen can use Cloud. Shen does not have Cloud. He actually has no attachments in this deck.
Okay, so Shoju's being held back. This is a little strange to me.
Yeah.
So he is going to get the break here, I think, but it does mean can defend and kill the blackmail artist.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's what we see, right? Sugu challenging the blackmail artist to a duel immediately. It's going to be a 1-1 and a dead blackmail artist, I feel.
Yeah.
That is what we see here. And then
Kachiko will
Kachiko can
be able
send
to.
Sugu home, so Mind Desire will lose an additional honor for unopposed, but it won't be a stolen honor, so Shenful will still be low himself. It looks like we're probably going to see the honor totals going to 2-2, assuming that Shenful resolves this fire ring to dishonor the tattooed wanderer. He could
Um,
also honor one of his own big guys
yeah,
and then aim to bid a little bit higher and then use his stronghold on the next turn. That might actually be a better strategy.
yeah. So Mind's Desire will go down to 3 here. So if he honors one of his own guys, he'll be able to stronghold next turn to go 3 to 2 the other way.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
seems maybe better. And that does look like that's what he's going for with the honor on Bayushi Kachiko. Oh, but there is another sword, Ancestral Daisho, coming out on the Niten Master. We were speculating that might have been a thing that Mind's Desire was holding in return, and because there is that, he's going into Shameful Display, and because there is that Tattooed Wanderer, he gets to circumvent Shoju. It is going to be defended against uh, by the Soci-Illusionist, but Mind's Desire is able to use his stronghold to get into the breaking position, and he takes the break. He breaks with the air ring, steals an honor from Shenful. Shenful now on one
Ooh.
honor.
Yeah, that's.
What a scenario. And that actually means both players are on 3 breaks. Mind's Desire is going first. Is it possible that he's going to pull off a break on the first attack and take this game?
So yeah, Mind's Desire going first this turn is pretty big.
If he can make this, it will be a very impressive comeback indeed.
Yeah, for sure. Um, I mean, he won't be able to dishonor because City of the Open Hand. But yeah, so I think yeah, his win condition here is just breaking the stronghold.
Yeah, the score. We do see Kitsu. He doesn't have. This is kind of weird. Oh no, he has 7 fate. Okay, that's fine. He's probably gonna play the Niten Adept. He's probably gonna play out his whole conflict or his whole dynasty row here. I think this is do or
Yeah.
die time.
The so the Scorpion's stronghold province is entrenched position.
Ooh, it's not rally. Okay, that means it's going to be a little bit harder to get a military break there. A
Yeah.
political break looks very unlikely with all the political strength and abilities that are on the board. But
Yeah.
let's see here. So let's just do some quick calculations for a basic military attack. So he could send in Niten Master, who's on strength 5. Niten Master's on strength 9 and could covert Kachiko. Then there's 3 more from Raitsugu, so that's strength 12. 13 from Kitsuki, 14, 15. He could attack on military strength 16 and covert Kachiko. Shoju would be able to defend. That would be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
8 for the favor.
Yeah, 8 for the favor. So it would not be breaking, but if Mind's Desire has another attachment, there is the opportunity to play an attachment, and there is additionally Raitsugu's ability. So we could see a duel, and we could see a battle from the Niten Adept. Wow, and here are the bids. We see a bid of 1 from Shenful and a bid of 3 from Mind's Desire. Shenful uses his Bayushi Manipulator to increase his own bid to 2. But so we're seeing 2 hands of 6 cards going into what could be the final conflict. Ancestral Daisho on Niten Adept. That is
big.
very, very dangerous. That is very, very dangerous for Shenful. We're gonna see what could be the end of the game here. Can he make it with this attack? I think Mind's Desire has to put all his units into the attack and just hope for the best. Yeah, every single unit. Oh no, he's holding back his Kitsuki Investigator. He does have the favorable ground,
right,
so if it needs just 1 point of strength, he can send in the Investigator.
Yeah.
Everybody else going in, and he's converting Kachiko as I was discussing.
Yeah, she has the most military strength currently on the Scorpion side.
Ironically, I do think entrenched position might actually be worse than rally to the cause here, because I think if he was able to move it onto, even though it's a military attack, if he were able to switch it onto political, I think he can hold this off easily. But on military, his forces are much weaker.
Yeah, so what he really needs here is a let go. He does still have 1 let go, I believe.
Yeah, or calling in favor. Oh no, but calling in favors will just get let go itself, because we know Mind's Desire has 2 of those. Yeah, strength 17 military attack could go to 18 thanks to that favorable ground. And there's still the Dragon Stronghold, Raitsugu's Duel, and Niten Adept that can potentially be used. On the other hand, Shenful does have the ability to use his Soci-Illusionist against Niten Master. So he's not defending with the Soci-Illusionist, which I think is prudent, because it's possible that it could get dueled off the field by Raitsugu.
Right. We'll see what he does for his first action. He's still...
And this is a water ring conflict, so I guess that would...
Yeah.
That has fate on it?
Yeah, probably
I guess that's why.
just the fate, yeah.
Oh no, the Socio-Illusionist does come back in, so he's just got to use that Socio-Illusionist as the first action so that there is no risk of him being dueled off the board by Muramoto Raitsugu. If he did get dueled off the board, that would be not only the one strength there. Oh yeah, so first action, he does get rid of that status token. 15 to 8, and he's Mindsdesire needs to win by 11 to win this conflict, so he can immediately bow. He can immediately use Niten Adept against Shoju.
Yeah,
so that's 3 strength away from
bow
Shenful.
Shoju first.
Yeah, I think I'd do that as well in case there's tricks that can mess with that guy. Yeah, so I think first action bow. Unless he thinks he can kill it, he can. If he has military buffs for. Oh no, policy debate comes out. That's actually really big. Oh man, there's an assassination in hand, but he can't play it or he loses the game. So there's an assassination that he can't play. For shame is very relevant. Oh, but there's Miramoto's Fury is blank. Every province is revealed.
For shame.
Yeah, for shame's the only card that doesn't need. Well, Kami Unleashed can be played for 1 point, but
for shame
we do see shame going away. So wow, Shenful only has 1 point of strength in that hand from that Kami Unleashed because he doesn't have the fate to play Unassuming Yojimbo, and every province is revealed. There are no Zero Glory characters, so Miramoto's Fury can't be played. Assassination will kill him. He does have Favored Niece, though, and we're seeing Favored Niece discarding and drawing a card. Mindsdesire really does need to use that Niten Adept because there is a risk that the card that has just been drawn is attachment control.
Right.
I would Niten Adept Shoju immediately, and he does it. Yeah. 15 to 5, so he only needs 1 more point of strength to break, and he can get 2 points of strength from the Stronghold, plus another one from the favorable ground. This could actually be Mindsdesire's win. An epic comeback. Let's see if he can do it. Miramoto Raitsugu, Dueling Socio-Illusionist. Here are the bids. Bid 1-1. Socio-Illusionist dies. We are now in a breaking position. Does Shenful have some magic to pull this out? Has his niece saved him? Way of the Scorpion comes out. Now Mountains Anvil Castle. Did he draw a for shame? If he drew a for shame, that would be so crazy to bow this Niten Master. Or has he seen all his for shames?
Yeah, he's seen all 3 for shame. So yeah, he needs a let go, a calling in favors.
It's all gonna come down. It's all okay. Wait, no, he can play as Kami Unleashed. He can play as Kami Unleashed, and then he is not. Oh, but then the favorable ground can be used.
The investigator.
So it's all down to the remaining card that he saw from that favored niece. Is it a useful or playable card in this situation? If it is, he can save himself, and if it is not, I think that's actually the game. Can he do it? Kami Unleashed comes out. Unleashed. 0 additional fate. So that's going to put it at not breaking. Favorable ground into the breaking position. Now we're going to see what's that last card. Can it break the game? Shenful says GG. He did not have it. He did not have it. Mindsdesire says, I'm so lucky. I have to say, I think he was lucky, but it was still an incredible comeback. Resounding victory for Mindsdesire at that on what looked like a terrible game for him earlier on, making the big comeback and just barely scraping out the win by the very last point of strength.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Mindsdesire does point out that he was lucky that of the bottom 6 cards, 2 of them were attachment control, and he discards 3 let goes from his hand. What was the last card?
2 reprieve, 3 fingers on top half.
Yeah, so he did get a lot of his defensive stuff. I'm asking what his last card in hand was. It was charge, so unplayable. Yeah, so it really was down to the very last point of strength in that game. If Shenful had managed to draw anything whatsoever that gave him a benefit for that conflict with the favored niece, he would have been able to save it. But unluckily for him, he was not able to, and that was the game. That is a crazy, crazy outcome. Ooh, wow, and apparently he drew the 3rd Fury from the niece. That's just brutal.
Yeah.
That is just brutal. I do think Mindsdesire got lucky. He barely managed to scrape out the win, but that's the way it is in card games sometimes. He was
Yeah.
able to pull it out. Shenful
If
also
I
says
just bid
insult to
one, I could have
injury. If I just bid
assassinated.
one, yep, it could have assassinated the new turn adept.
Oh
Mind
man.
Desire says he should have bid two.
Yeah.
And it turns out, yeah,
Why watering?
Raphaelis, why watering? That's a good question. I guess it doesn't matter. Stops me. Oh, it stops him from standing. Okay, I guess that makes sense. It's denial. Yeah, so then there's only really, but I mean, I think he just breaks, so it doesn't matter. Maybe maybe rally to the cause saves him.
Um.
My Desire is dead if he doesn't win right here, though, because
Yeah.
air
Yeah.
game. Shenful says even if you don't have this, I think you're fine. I don't think that's right. I think Shenful immediately wins on the counterattack.
Yeah. Because Mind's Desire has 2 honor. Oh yeah. Sorry. Kingsley is co-casting. Someone in chat was asking.
Oh yeah, so yeah, that's this is me, Kingsley, aka Tower Number 9. I often cast games on my own channel, but this time I'm co-casting here with Pymittens.
Yep.
What a game that was. What an exciting comeback for Mind's Desire. And even though he did get lucky, you have to play well to even give yourself an opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, there was a point in that game where it was just looking like there was no way for Mind's Desire to come back, and then somehow he managed to do it. So
Yep, great job. L5R is of course a comeback friendly game. And when coupled with some very strong play from Mind's Desire, we saw a great reversal of fortune. Mind's Desire is currently, Mind's Desire has, I believe, just advanced to the finals. He
yeah,
has
that's
been
correct.
undefeated in the Invitational, and we're going to see him against the winner of game 29 in the losers bracket. And it looks like that's going to be it's actually funny. He's going to be playing another Scorpion in the final.
Yeah.
It's going to be Shenful will play against either Byron Crane or Heinzel, depending on who wins that Scorpion mirror match.
Yeah. So Mind's Desire, the only non-Scorpion left standing here.
Yeah, but he is standing on the king of the on the top kill, as it were, as the only undefeated player in the double elimination event. So even if his Scorpion opponent in the final wins that game, they will have to play another game, and Mind Desire will only have to take one win to take the tournament. So he is in a leading position here, as we see.
Yeah. So he's guaranteed at this point at least second place. And yeah, he only has to win one more game to get first.
Yeah.
Looks like they're talking about just the honor.
Yeah, that was a great maneuver there. Elivian Dremrel says, turns out this game's actually entertaining to watch, but it's not 2 hours of Scorpion versus Scorpion board positioning building. Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a game at the proving grounds after the San Francisco Cote, where I think it was literally 30 minutes before the opponent made any attack, where it was my dragon against their Scorpion, and I also think they were probably correct to do that. The game is just at a high level of play in particular. Sometimes you have to be very defensive. Um,
Yeah, especially in a matchup like this where all the provinces are so scary.
Yeah, Tristan says he thinks that going aggressive on the air ring last turn to kill Raitsugu in exchange for blackmail was the play. I have to agree. I think if Shenful had sent Shoju into that conflict, it would have been a lot better for him. I guess there would be a risk that I don't remember when Mind Desire got the. So Mind Desire could have saved Raitsugu from dying by using his stronghold and the ancestral Daisho, but then he wouldn't have gotten the break with his Niten Master, so he wouldn't have been in a position to escape. Um,
Yeah, it's hard to say.
I do tend to agree though that I think that putting Shoju in there to prevent Raitsugu from just killing that guy would have been well no so the uh
Yeah, so Niten Master had covert, so
but he also in order to not lose Raitsugu in order to not lose Raitsugu I think what you would have to do is leave I think you leave what's her name you leave Kachiko at home maybe
hmm, yeah,
and you send in just Shoju and the because sending the Kachiko sent Raitsugu home bound, but it would have been better to just kill him with Shoju
right.
or force the stuff to come out to prevent him from dying, which would prevent the Niten Master from standing. So I think you go for the I think you just swap which of the big Scorpion characters go in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think that's gonna do it for me. Thank you, Pie Mittens, for letting me come on here and co-cast what turned out to be a very exciting game.
Yeah, for sure.
I will catch you guys later.
All right, see you. Okay, well, yeah, it's getting pretty late now, so I'll probably get heading off as well. But yeah, definitely a really exciting game. Thanks everyone for watching.